Welcome back to Smashing Heads Podcast. This is going to be our recap for Double Agents, episode 10. As always, my name is Zach, and I'm joined by my wife, Hannah.
Hey, hey, hey.
Best friend, Jake.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good. I mean, it definitely seems like there's a lag between our connections a little bit, but I'll sync it up better in post.
You know how I feel about technology.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, right now compared to what a lot of things that are going on, we're pretty lucky that we're even able to record or watch what happened last night. So
or have power.
Yeah, I hope any of our listeners in Texas, you're doing good. Hopefully that all gets worked out soon because I don't know the full extent of it. I just know there's a lot of people without power and water and things like that. A couple challengers live in Texas. I know of like Nelson.
Cam and
Leroy. Nelson, though, famously lived in Texas and then didn't know the capital of Texas. But other than that, I hope everything starts working out. In Tennessee, where we're at, we never get snow. If we do, it's very little. And the last that I measured, we were at about 7 inches of snow in our yard. And where Jake's at is probably even more because he's a little bit more north of us.
Yeah, it's a lot of snow here for Tennessee. So I've actually gotten out a few times, weathered the weather, if you will. I don't know. I feel like a real tough guy for being able to manage the snow,
I haven't gotten out. I haven't left all week.
Mm-mm.
It's just, again, everything's mostly shut down. What is your car 4-wheel drive?
That's a good question, Zach. I really don't know, to be honest with you.
Okay.
Probably not.
It's
probably not.
It's a Hyundai Santa Fe, if anybody wants to look that up.
Well, they may make both versions.
Yeah, they probably make both.
Yeah. Hannah's got we just bought a Subaru Outback a couple months ago, and so
it was like a week before Christmas.
Yeah. And so that will get us around if we have to. We just haven't really needed to get out, and so we just haven't been. But I'm going to have to at some point this week, and so. I'm not taking my truck because it is rear-wheel drive only, and it is way too big to. Because again, we never have snow like this, so I was like, we don't need it here.
Yeah,
I can get a rear-wheel drive truck. So other than that, we hope everyone's being safe because I know it's affected not just Tennessee, it's Arkansas, Alabama, Kentucky. There's this huge front, and none of us are prepared for it. So.
Most people in the South have been experiencing.
I mean, this is the most snow I remember. Ever.
Maybe some of the worst road conditions I've ever seen, honestly.
Yeah, and I haven't even been out, but I've seen pictures and stuff of it. So, I can't imagine. One of our patrons, her husband is a truck driver, and she's in Arkansas. Man, I got something in my throat. And she was asking what the road conditions were. Yeah, I'm okay. She was asking what the road conditions were like in Tennessee, and I was like, we're not prepared for it at all. I was like, so... hopefully the interstates are good, but I was like, I doubt it, just because we just don't ever have this type of thing. So again, everyone, stay safe. Do what you got to do to stay warm, and we hope everything gets worked out soon. Speaking of Patreon, patreon.com/smashingheadspodcast. We do want to give a shout out. It's not a new patron, but it's a returning patron, and we decided we're going to start, doing that anytime. So. Holeigh G, thank you for jumping back on board with us. It's a weird time during this whole pandemic. Like, we know there's some certain things with maybe job issues and things like that. It's been a weird time, but we appreciate all our patrons and everything that have stuck with us this whole time. And if you got to come and go, it's no big deal. We understand. We know how it is. We've all been through weird things in life, and so. We're trying to put out as much Patreon content as we can, which, speaking of, Jake just put up a post for bringing back our Patreon Hangouts where we interview our patrons and just kind of get their background on the challenge and all that type of stuff. So that'll be dropping hopefully at some point next week. And, again, we're trying to do some more exclusive stuff on there to keep things rolling. Other than that, again, just follow social media, Smashing Heads on Twitter, Smashing Heads Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And 5-star reviews on iTunes definitely do help people get involved because I'm not going to say what it is, but we've been working to try to get some interviews and stuff on, and it's a weird time right now. I don't know if MTV has cracked down on current cast members or things like that, but it's been a little more frustrating than what it has been in the past, and I know we've had to deal with more publicists and stuff, so we're still working on things like that. Some people like Devin that we have relationships with, or Wes, those guys can kind of do whatever they want, but it's been more of an annoyance than normal to try to get some of these newer people on. So hopefully we'll have some more stuff like that soon. But other than that, are you guys ready to jump into last night's episode? We're recording on Thursday afternoon, by the way. You're just pointing at me.
I was pointing a hand. She ready.
How am I supposed to be able to tell that you're pointing at me?
Well, on my screen, I'm pointing right at you.
Well, on our screen, it's just in the dead center. And
regardless, it's
see.
Good to have hand back this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's back. She doesn't have a migraine this week.
Thank goodness.
And
that's like a band name waiting to happen. Hannah and the Migraines, right?
That is not. That's not a good.
We're
name.
the Migraines because we give her such headaches.
That's more accurate.
So let's get into last night's episode. Again, episode 10 of Double Agents, and again, we kind of start this episode off with kind of a looming thing that comes into play later, but I don't remember who had the confessional. It's probably Fessy, but he's like, Big Brother has 3 skulls now. The only one that doesn't have one is Amber B, which
that was
spoiler.
Casey. Which
Casey?
I was
further
about to say, I thought
which
that was
further
Casey.
shows just how non-memorable she is on this show.
You got to give her credit.
She's doing a lot better
this season.
Yes,
she's doing way better.
I think she's
this
incredibly
season about
boring.
I don't think she's exciting, but there's been a lot of, like, again, you could argue Darrell's not been exciting. But, I mean, we love Darrell just because we've got a history with him.
But Darrell is well-timed, okay? There's such a thing as, like, I give you this compliment, Zach. You have well-timed humor. All right? There's something to be said about that.
I don't think you've ever given me that compliment
Good
before.
comedic timing.
I don't say it to your face.
Okay, you just talk about me behind my back.
Jake and I talk about you behind your back all the time.
Casey, on the other hand, is not funny. There is no such thing as well-timed humor with her. And when she does say stuff, she makes a comment like wishing she had a team full of Caseys, which, funny.
I mean, I will agree she's not, like, to me, if we had to rank, like, the top funniest challengers, like, she probably would be bottom 3 on this season.
Top 3 would be Kyle, Devin, and
probably
CT.
Wes. CT. Yeah.
She is out of like all the like, because I'll give her this. She's good at the game. Like she's a good competitor. Yeah. Out of like all the like really good competitors, she has to be the most boring, or at least in the discussion.
A lot of people have Fessy in that category.
So. He's fine. He's not.
I know, but a lot of people think he's really boring. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else would kind of fit in that role.
As boring?
Yeah. So let me pose this to you guys. Would you rather have someone who's more boring but physically a really good competitor, or would you rather have someone like Big T who is not a good competitor but people like her
but someone really entertaining?
That's skirting the line for me.
But that's their thing. Everybody loves her because she's so entertaining. I would say I'd rather have someone boring.
I think you got to have a chance to win. Like otherwise, why are you here?
I'm with that. So we're Grizzlies fans, we're Titans fans, and like we don't watch those guys because now look, Ja Morant's fun to watch. He's entertaining, guys like that. But ultimately, we watch for these people to win, right?
Yeah.
So I think the same has to apply here. Also, I don't find Big T entertaining. Like,
that's what I say. It's kind of skirting the line for me because a lot of people act like she's like the funniest person on the show, and I was like, she's fine. She's not a competitor, and so I don't know. That's what you kind of got to decide. There was a discussion on our Slack group for some of our patrons that were talking about it, and they were kind of split. Like, not everyone needs to have a chance to win. You need just entertainment. And I was like, man, I feel like
Why can't we have both?
Well, yeah.
It's like the little girl from the taco shell commercial. Why not both?
Ideally, yes, you get people who are both, but like really, I think I would rather like because otherwise, if you just have people on there who are not like we all know, like this person, no chance, not gonna make it. If they made a final from some miraculous thing, they're gonna fall over or get like Georgia in what like in the World of Worlds final, like in the first heat. She just was gone, and
I don't think she was that bad of a competitor, though.
She's not a good competitor. Like
she wouldn't be in the top rankings, but I don't think she was bad. There were certain things that she was good at because she's a good runner.
Do you think Georgia legitimately had a chance to win the final?
No.
So that's where you're looking, and then even like Maddie gas out in that final, but I don't know. I think like you got to have a chance to win. Otherwise, like, it's kind of pointless to be here. Which I just was looking over who all is still left on our fantasy stuff, and Jake, Hannah, and I were watching. Was it Brooklyn Nine-Nine or well? No, we were watching Bajillion Dollar Properties on Pluto TV.
My new favorite show.
Yeah, on Pluto. Pluto is an awful interface, but they do have that show, and
it's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. But a commercial came up for Grand Canyon University, and guess who was in the commercial?
Who was the narrator?
He was not the narrator. He was in the commercial.
But he was narrating it, too.
Well, I mean, he was... Okay.
He was doing both.
That's semantics. He was on camera talking to the camera. I wouldn't call that a narrator. It was America's Got Talent boy, Joseph.
Oh, is that right?
I was not going to call him Josh.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember his name. But
Hannah was like, why do I know that guy? I was like, he was on the challenge. I was like, this season. And... yeah, he's like talking about making music from Grand Canyon University, and I was like, that was like not a platform that we watch anything challenge related on. It just came up, so that was interesting. But yeah, anyway, kind of got derailed by the big T thing. But
hey, has anyone scanned that code on the TV next to the MTV icon?
You said TV so many times in that sentence. Yeah, people did
for official gear. Have you guys done it?
No.
I just want to know what's on it.
The way that was phrased was, she's like, have you guys done it? Because it's pretty good. But I knew that she hasn't done it because we watched it together.
Yeah.
I know that Kelsi
are you expecting
did.
are you expecting someone to like drop in your DMs and let you know?
I was actually asking the two of you. I knew Zach hadn't, but kind of.
So you're asking
Jake.
Yeah, nope.
Really? Has anyone listened to this scanned the code because what's on it?
It's just official challenge merch.
Yeah, but I'm curious. I don't want to go scan it myself because then I'd have to go downstairs, find the episode if you haven't deleted it yet.
You could literally just search like challenge merch.
Start over.
And it would come up.
I didn't know if it'd be something different. Like it's exclusive stuff that you can't just like search the web for.
It's official stuff. I mean, there's been a lot of like bootleg stuff. Even some podcasts, which I won't name, have done bootleg challenge things, which is totally not legal.
I was about to say that sounds like it's not legal.
It's anyway. That's all trademark stuff. So the challenge is getting out. The challenge is basically decided any way that outlying non-MTV places have done challenge content or products, that they're going to be in that market now. Because, again, they have their own podcast now. They're doing YouTube recaps. They're all over it, which is smart because, again, it just bring the awareness of the show up all around. I can guarantee you a lot of people watching had no idea challenge podcasts existed until they started talking about the Tori and Anissa one. But MTV for sure has their hands all over that. They determine what goes out, what's said and all that type of stuff. So we're a little bit more like the Wild West. And after the Big Brother thing, CT basically is talking with Devin, and he said he thinks Leroy and Casey or Cam and Kyle are the best bet to win overall. And I think that's, if you had money on it, that'd be good odds for one of those teams.
He also called Josh a non-threat.
That's
true.
It's I think it's so funny that CT's hatred of Josh has like slowly like built up.
It's like a snowball.
And he doesn't even like address it much. It's just like subtle little things. And so there's got to be other stuff that we're not seeing. But like
I wish we were.
When CT votes for Josh and just says simple like "F you" and then walks out, I was like, man, there's
something else going on.
There's some underlying stuff there. I mean, you'd get sick of living with that guy for 3 seasons.
He's a pastor, right?
Okay, we're back. We had a little bit of some technical issues. Had to restart the Zoom session and get things going. If you didn't hear Jake as much in the first 15 minutes or so, it's because I guess his internet was lagging behind and he couldn't really figure out when to jump in on things. It seems better now.
Well, let's hope so, because I've had about enough of technology. If I'm being honest, Zach, take me back to Western civilization here. All right, let me get on a farm or something.
Okay, I don't think that word means what you think it means. Second of all, without technology, we couldn't do any of this. We couldn't have a podcast. We couldn't watch shows. I think your anger is very misdirected.
You think he should be mad at us?
Also, I think he means like when he said Western civilization,
like the Wild Wild West, like you referred to.
Yeah, I think you mean like cowboy times, right?
When things were much simpler, you did everything by hand. You didn't have to depend on technology to do stuff for you.
Well, they still had technology. It was just different.
Yeah, well, this is getting ridiculous with the technology. Also, is Han okay? She's out of the picture.
Oh, sorry. I had to adjust because
I'll move the
I was uncomfortable the way I was sitting earlier.
Yeah, I've had it up to here with technology. All right, I'm sick of it.
Just to your eye level.
Yeah.
Not all the way, just right about there.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's better. You're not, 4 seconds behind us or whatever it was before. So, again, if the first part of the episode sounds a little different, that's what it was. So we'll jump right back in. I don't remember the last. I know where we were. So, Devin and CT were talking. We were talking about CT not wanting to live with Josh and all that type of stuff.
Saying Josh was a non-threat.
Yeah. So Devin basically says he wants to give CT Josh and then elimination, and then if CT doesn't want it, he'll give it to Nam. Mm-hmm. And because he's cool with Nam, and like they're all kind of close.
And he even the three of them meet together later on, and Devin even says this because Nam is like, I want to go into elimination, and Devin was like, well, CT has first dibs, but if he doesn't want it, I'll give it to you. And he's like, okay, that's fair.
This is what makes Lolo look even crazier, is that you see Nam just talking like normal with everyone else, and especially with like CT and Devin. And by the way, if you're Nam as an English as a second language person, can you imagine trying to talk to CT of all people? Because it's hard for me to understand CT sometimes.
I didn't even think about that.
And so, he's talking with her. With him just fine. They've got this. They even subtitle CT a lot of times on the show.
So that should tell you something.
Yeah, we'll get to Lolo for sure in a minute, but
real quick. So I don't know if you were jumping into this. Our buddy Alan Aguirre,
mm-hmm.
right? Actually, I saw him put up on Twitter. I think he put it up last night, but I saw it this morning where they showed the whole deal with Fessy and Gabby, and Fessy telling us about how he's an introvert and whatever. And anyway, he said that was actually. During that episode at some point was the 10-year anniversary of Nani and Leroy's friendship when they first met on The Real World. To which his point was, we had to watch Fessy tell us about how he's an introvert and then make out with Gabby, and we didn't get to see that.
So he's saying like they talked about it and they just like edited it out?
So it's like a little clip that like MTV released,
okay, gotcha. So it didn't make the final cut.
Yeah,
I would have rather seen that.
I think that was the point.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, are you guys into the Fessy Gabby little love connection?
No. That was going to be the next thing.
Also, I wonder if they showed it because there's not been any other hookups in the house.
I mean, how many times do we have to hear like Fessy talk about how people don't understand him?
He's an introvert, Jake.
Is that not weird to y'all? Like, I swear this is like 4 episodes in a row. He's like, people don't understand me. I don't know. Like, I'm a nice guy. I'm an introvert. And like,
I don't think he's not a nice guy. I think this.
No, I agree. It's just
I think
don't know.
this season has rubbed a lot of people in a different way than last season did with Fessy. It made Hannah cough like crazy. You hear that? She literally was just drinking water. Off mic, and this is going to keep going.
I just saw a little glimpse of her face.
Yeah. Still.
Oh, man.
This is what you guys missed last week.
I missed it.
I'm drowning.
Went right into the lungs.
Well, you can't swim, so
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're doing with water.
I'm going to have to take it away from her.
Are you okay? Is she crying?
A little bit.
No.
My heart is racing.
Yeah, walk us through that.
She's having like a fight or flight reflex because she almost drowned in 3 milliliters of water.
I was trying to take a sip of water, and my lip slipped. And
Her lip slipped.
I've heard of a nip slip. I've never heard of a lip slip.
Yeah.
My lip slipped off of the opening, and it scared me, and I accidentally inhaled the water.
It's scary. So let's just give an insight into my life.
Oh my god.
She gets scared all the time and blames me for it most of the time.
You sneak around the house like a psychopath.
No.
You sneak around the house?
No. Here's the thing.
He does. It's like he tiptoes around.
That's
so
the funniest
I don't hear
image.
him, and then I'll turn around, and he's just there, and it's so scary.
No.
You just tiptoe like a werewolf around the house.
Yeah, that in her mind, yes. So like, here's the thing, this happened. She always, all the time, she's like, "Oh, you scared me," and I was like, "I'm walking around the house." I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Do I have to announce where I'm going at all times?"
Okay, this has happened like 3 or 4 times in the last 2 weeks. So, if he's in here in his office, it's on the opposite side of the house as our bedroom and our master bathroom. And so I will go to the master bathroom, use the restroom, and I think that he's in his office working on stuff. And then when I come out and go to wash my hands, he's just standing in the doorway, and it scares me. And then I'll go. He'll be downstairs watching TV, and I think, oh, he's downstairs. So I'll go to the kitchen to like get something to drink or cook or whatever, and I'll turn around and he's just there, or he'll be like. Ugh.
Yeah, I can't. So here's the problem. In her mind, when she's no.
He's just there, and I'm like, oh, you scared me.
So let's stop for a second. In her mind, the means I'm talking to her. So there's no win in this situation. There's because if I announce that I'm walking through, she'll be like, "Oh, you scared me." And if I don't say anything, she'll notice me and be like, "Oh, you scared me." Because what happened was last week,
I'll turn around and he's there.
I was downstairs watching TV, and I had to come in the office, and I had to get something for work. And so I went in my office, and I worked on something for like 5 minutes. I just had to send something off. And then I walked out, and I have to walk by her kitchen, and she saw me walk by the kitchen, and she's like, "Why you scared me?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "I'm walking around the house." Like,
but I thought you were downstairs.
That's your fault.
I
like
thought
that's
there
your
was somebody
problem.
that broke in the house.
Like that. So again, if I say anything to her, she gets jump scared, and she's like, "Whoa, where'd you come from?" It's like there's no win in any of this.
Oh my god!
You need to wear a bell.
Well, can you actually start walking around the house like this?
No one can see what you're doing, but yeah.
I'm aware. So I look like a werewolf right now, right?
Well, like an old-timey, like 40s werewolf with like his hands up in the air. Yeah. Like Thriller, like Michael Jackson's Thriller.
That's what Hannah sees when she turns the corner.
Yeah, it's like a Scooby-Doo villain or something.
When she opens the bathroom door and you're just...
But I don't do that. That's the thing. I don't jump scare her.
He's silent. That's worse. Because I don't know that he's there, and then suddenly he's there. Why would that not scare the living daylights out of me?
Because you live with someone. I don't get scared when you appear out of places.
And then the fact that when you talk, she just hears...
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. It's a lose-lose. There's nothing. She got scared of herself not getting water in her mouth and then sucked it into her lungs. If we lived in the Western civilization like you wanted, she'd be dead in 10 minutes.
Oh, my God.
She'd be like, where'd that horse come from?
Well, and don't forget, her lip slipped.
Yes.
Which one? Are you a two-lipper?
Yes.
That's the problem right there.
Again, like this, good Lord. Now you see what it's kind of been like during all this snowstorm.
It's been a whole week of this. Yeah. We've been stuck in the house for a week.
So she should know that I'm here. Like that's
he's just scaring you.
Yeah.
He does it because he thinks it's funny.
I'm not doing anything.
He thinks it's hilarious.
Anyway, Devin.
My head hurts now.
Devin doesn't want to go into any sort of elimination, even if Gabby does. I don't blame him. Like we'll get to this probably more later on. If you're Devin, one, you really don't care about what Gabby thinks in this because she's just your partner by happenstance because her partner got eliminated, your partner got eliminated. You didn't want to work together. You just have to have a partner. So he's got a gold skull. I don't blame him at all if you don't know if it's a guy's day, girl's day, or whatever. Like, why would you risk ever going down? Especially when considering it's Corey you'd be going against in this one later on.
Yeah, probably.
I didn't know whether to applaud him for his game tactics or to call him a dirtbag because you could go both ways, honestly.
I don't think it's a dirtbag. Again, at the end of the day,
you have to protect your own skull if that's how you get to the final. And he's got one. And judging by the other guys that have skulls, aside from Josh, Devin has a pretty good chance of losing his.
Devin and Josh are the 1A and 1B of people who like, if it's physical, people are going to want to go against Devin. If it's anything mental or athletic, they're going to want to go against Josh. And so depending on the matchup, like they could want to, go against him, take his skull. And so I don't blame him at all. Like, again, we'll get to that when the elimination time comes. But again, he's safe. There's zero reason to risk it. And unless you know for sure it's a female elimination, and we'll get to some of that in a minute. And then we get the whole Fessy and Gabby flirting, making out in a bunk bed while he's standing and she's laying down sideways, which is a strange position.
Why? Fessy was telling Gabby that she doesn't need to be partners with Devin anymore and says that he wants to be partners with her. Mm-hmm. Why does Fessy think that Devin's not a good partner for Gabby? Since they've been partners, they've won 2 dailies.
Well, this was before the daily.
I know, but still, I don't think Devin's a bad partner. I don't think he's holding her back.
This is all being said out of the Big Brother hatred, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he made the Big Brother Sucks VIP lounge later.
Which was funny.
And so they were after they start making out, they start playing "Love Will Tear Us Apart" by Joy Division, which is one of the most. It came out in like '79, but it was like one of the biggest songs of the '80s, and on the Donnie Darko soundtrack. If basically they're just playing the Donnie Darko soundtrack and then adding Huey Lewis in the news every so often. But Nam comes in and he's talking with Lolo. And I don't know what the context exactly was, but he's just like throughout, time is the most valuable thing we have. It's the only thing we can't buy back. And I was like, he's getting really in depth.
He's so
about
deep.
This.
No, Lolo was trying. No. Lolo was trying to tell Nam to be more social and to get to know people. And that was frustrating to me because we've seen Nam sit and talk with a lot of other people, like one-on-one or like with 2 other people.
The only conversations I've seen Lolo have other than with Nam are with her pleading to people about how awful Nam is, or her like, Teresa, don't you yell at me. And it's like, that's not happening. And
I've seen Nam talk with a lot of people.
Yeah, I will say, just for Jake's sake, I don't know if he caught, Nam referred to himself as Ice, once again, going with the...
Fire and ice.
Well, Lolo was fire. Nam was ice. Yes. Again, going back to the hard surface, stone, rocks. No, it's not exactly the same, but it's close.
Fantasy points are involved there.
Okay.
Iceberg. That's kind of like a rock.
He didn't say iceberg.
But if we put them together,
okay,
it could be the same. This whole conversation between the two of them was really frustrating.
I just wrote Lolo's crazy. So the thing, and we'll get to it later because they have another run in.
Well, at this point, he even tells her if this was in Germany, things would be different.
Well, yeah, and that's what we've been saying all along. She's like, you need to talk and blah 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 blah. And he's like, if this was in German, mm-hmm. he's like, this would be and I agree. Like
German is his first language, it's his native tongue, so he's probably a lot better at picking up social cues and like inflection and stuff like that. And so with English being a second language, it's kind of harder to learn that stuff.
No one else has a problem with Nom's communication, and I get that they're partners, so it's a different level. But we see they don't work great together. But like every show that Lolo's been on, which we didn't watch her Big Brother celebrity show or whatever, everyone says she is just like this. Like, she's just an awful person to live with. And
well, she calls him stubborn and says that everything is catered to him, which I don't think is the case. I think, if anything, he's catered more to her to try to make her happy.
I feel like you're a little biased.
I am a little bit biased, but he does argue with her that he has had to adjust a lot from the very beginning.
I do agree with that.
Which is true.
Yeah.
So I think she needs to show him a little more grace.
There could be a reason why she's 38 and single, and
yeah, like she just there's definitely, when you have to have like a coach to mediate all of your problems, like she
said that.
I know she brings it up later, but Jake, I don't know if you caught this or even would care about this, but in the confessional, Nam was giving me like really hard like rude boy vibes, which is like what they called like ska enthusiast back in the late 90s. And he was wearing like a white shirt with black suspenders, and he had a hat on. And I was like, this dude's listening to ska right now. And
he might be.
Maybe ska's big in Germany right now. I have been watching through Brooklyn Nine-Nine because I'm behind on catching up on that. And there was a thing where it was a flashback to Jake Peralta, and he's like, ska is who I am, and I will never change. And he's dancing like that, and it's a good time. This is only for Austin, one of our patrons, because he's the only other person that listens to ska with me.
He gets fantasy points for that, by the way.
Does he?
Perfect.
Yes, he does.
There we go.
Okay, well, Gabby's confessional looks might I say, the entire episode, every last one of her confessional looks are absolutely on point. Her outfit is on point. Her makeup's on point. She's got good hairstyles in all of them. She just looks crazy cute.
Every week, she always is like, I think Gabby's so cute. And I was like, yeah, I know. And
I know, but every week, I'm like, man, she's really cute. She's just so stinking cute. I think she's just cute as a button. But all of her entire confessional looks are just spot on for this episode.
Well, after all that with Ska Nam, and we go to the daily, and she's drinking water again. Let's see what happens.
Easy.
Leave me alone.
The daily is Mission Black Sand Op. Like, cool name. I didn't make a lot of notes for this, but basically, again, you've watched the show if you're listening to this. It'd be weird if you didn't. There's 100 holes, and there's 10 pieces per team. And so you got to mix and match and find your pieces, and you can help other teams and you cannot. I saw a lot of people on Twitter really hated this daily. And they're like, it's not fair because you're basically letting alliances decide if they help or hurt or whatever. And I think that completely got proven wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like the team that was on the outs won. Mm-hmm. And like, so I actually, like, when I first started watching this, I liked this daily because it does have a little bit of randomness to it, and different strategy. Like, you can honestly dig holes and then cover them back up to screw someone over, and it's fine. Like, I think there should be a certain like political side to games and things like that. But like, I think that theory, and not to yell at him, but Alan Aguirre, which we shout outed earlier, like, he was one that didn't like it, and I saw some other people. I think Logan may have been one, and I was just like, Well, it all got proven wrong because the team that had like the outside disadvantage and people were actively covering their parts up, they won.
Yeah, I mean, I think that says a lot. I didn't really have a problem with this daily. I could see how, if you were rooting for someone that was not in one of the big alliances, that it would be kind of frustrating. But the thing is, I mean, Josh and Nany got, I think, the most help out of anybody,
and
other teams.
They blew a huge lead.
They absolutely blew their lead. But even when other people were digging up Devin and Gabby's puzzle pieces, they were reburying them. Devin and Gabby still were ahead of most of the other teams. And Cam and Kyle, who are like Cam's the leader of the other big alliance, that I don't know that they got any help. And they were one of the last teams to find their puzzle pieces.
Yeah, some of the people that had like the most networking were struggling to like get all their stuff. And again, like they had a huge lead, and it basically, I don't know how far in advance, like not in advance, how far ahead they were, but significantly they were at least like 3 puzzle pieces ahead of like the next team. Like it seemed like they were solving when no one else around them was. And like I tried to look for like the wide shots, because you can kind of dictate the narrative if you want, like, oh, Josh and Nany were way ahead, and they may not have been, but they were ahead. And it was a flawed strategy by them at first for Nany just to be like, I can see it. It's fine. It's 50 yards away, but I got it.
That killed a lot of time for them.
And but other than that, like they just didn't do good. And the one thing we know is Devin's really good at puzzles.
Yeah, he's really good at puzzles.
Have you realized Hannah started to mess up there? But have you thought about the fact that if you were to interchange the first 2 letters of Devin and Gabby's name, you'd have Gavin and Debbie?
Yeah, I accidentally wrote baggy at one point in my notes. I went Baggy.
This is the kind of takes we provide right here.
Yeah.
These are the kind of takes we provide right here.
Okay,
Gavin and Debbie.
Gavin and Debbie. Was Nom hurt?
I did make a note. He said he like tweaked his back or something. And
He was crying about like a really sharp pain in his left side, which was making it difficult for him to like dig up any puzzle pieces, which I'm sure did not help Lolo's frustrations with him.
Listen,
even beforehand, she was like being really sarcastic and was saying how perfect of a team they are, their communication's on point, and then he was like, biggest lie of the challenge.
And then he's like, but we'll do good. We'll do good. But yeah,
I don't think he really thought so.
Nerve pain and stuff in the back, it's no joking matter. It sucks.
It can incapacitate you.
Mm-hmm. And like I am just now getting back to where I'm feeling normal again from when I messed up my back in end of August, early September. Mm-hmm. And it's been like constant stuff. And so, I did write Nom got hurt, it seemed, but I didn't know if that was going to play into like an elimination or something, because we found out after last week, Teresa had a torn labrum, and it got worse throughout the season, and so like she wasn't at 100%, but Gavin, good God, Devin and Gabby win, and the biggest thing was that Josh and Nany, they should have been the team to win. They were so far ahead.
They had everything going for them, and they just blew it.
Yeah.
But did you notice Kyle in his confessional hyping up Devin?
They're friends.
Yeah. It was really nice to see.
I mean, he's in a weird spot just because Cam and Leroy and them don't want anything to do with Devin and CT and all that. But Devin wins and Gabby, and he's like Leverage City, baby. He's like that's
what he called himself.
He called himself the city.
Yeah, he points at himself and he goes, "I'm Leverage City right now."
I guess I don't remember him calling himself that, but yeah. Again, CT after that.
You don't ever just point yourself New York City.
Well, that's a real place. No, I don't call myself.
Yeah,
Do you?
No.
Great.
Do you want him to start doing that?
I've been trying to figure out what his shirt says, because all I can see is "Once upon a time there was a girl."
This is a shirt.
It doesn't fit. It's too big. It's way too big. But I wore.
Robin sent you.
Yeah, one of our patrons sent it to me, and it says,
Once upon a time, there was a girl that's got a paw print and a picture of a croc, and it says, "Really loved dogs and crocs. It was me, the end," and it has a little heart.
One of our patrons sent it to me because I wear Crocs. I'm wearing them right now, and Hannah hates it, and so she sent me a shirt, which is it's like a 2XL, like it's too big. But it says once upon a time there was a girl that loved dogs and Crocs, and it's me, and so I'm wearing it. Shout out to Robin for the shirt.
Shout out.
Let's clap for it. Yeah. Anyway, CT is going to be first in the priority. Nam is second for Devin. And they cut to another room, and Fessy's in there, and he's talking to, I believe, Nany, and he is convinced that Devin won't go after Josh for some reason, and then also said, well, it's for sure a girls' day.
Why does everybody think it's a girls' day?
So I brought that up to our Slack group. Jake, did you have any feelings on that?
Not really.
Well, okay, so but the last elimination was a girls' elimination, right? So
was it?
Yeah, it was Teresa and Casey.
You're right.
And so I was like, why are they certain it's going to be a girls' day again? That doesn't even make sense.
Was it Teresa and Casey, or was it Josh and...
No, Josh and Michi were the week before.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
It,
I was thinking it was Casey and Teresa last week.
It was. And so that's why I was like, why do they for sure think it's a girls' elimination? And so the theory that the Slack group came up with was that, I believe it was Jen that popped in and said this, is that she thinks maybe because now officially all the guys' skulls are handed out, that they're just going to get the girls' skulls fully taken care of and then start doing, well, now you got to start stealing them. Which is fine, but they haven't announced anything like that. And so we've also had 3 girls DQ for medical reasons. And so I didn't know, like, that's 3 girls eliminations, essentially, that are just gone. And so I was like, why do they think it's for sure girls? And I don't know. But Gabby wants to go in probably against Josh and Nany is what she wants, right? So, other than that, like, Devin, like we said earlier, he wants no part in it, like, and I don't blame him. So, actually, let's take a quick break, and then we'll be right back. All right, we're back, and let's get into the Bubble Club, which I'm still going to call it that no matter what. Some people called it, like, the Ice Lounge, something else, I don't know. But Devin made a Big Brother Sucks VIP lounge. He said he's a big chaos guy.
He was dressed like a talk show host.
Yeah, again, he's fully...
leaning.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of people that are Big Brother fans who are going to hate everything that he did this episode. I think it was funny. Like,
I thought it was hilarious.
We like Devin. Obviously, we interviewed him not long ago. And... he's just on a full power trip. The thing with Devin, though, is that, like, he knows it. He's like, I know I'm being very annoying, and I know that I'm being way over the top, and I don't care.
He's taking a page out of Wes's handbook.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Devin just copies Wes or anything.
No, but it's very Wes-esque.
Yeah, I think it's even it's more than what Wes I think ever did. Like Devin's theories in this, like, even when it comes to, like, the deliberation and all that, like, he's just throwing out chaos just for the sake of it. Like, Wes would never do that. Like, Wes
is more methodical.
Yeah, he's a lot more like meticulous about, like, hey, what makes the most sense game wise? And Devin's like, screw it, we got power. Let's throw Cam in. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But Corey again in the bubble says, we don't know if it's a guy's day or a girl's day. Still wasn't sure about that.
Little Amber told him that she wants to go in against Nany or Big Amber.
Sure. I mean, probably Amber M's biggest chance to be going against Big T. I don't think she's beaten anyone else in anything physical like what we saw.
Well, we found out tonight she may not have beaten anyone in anything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It was not a good elimination, but
further indictment on this rookie class. By the way,
I agree. So Corey again said that he didn't know if it's girls or guys, and so there's been speculation that there might be a purge elimination, or like a double, like, hey, guys and girls are both competing tonight. So again, like, Devin not wanting to go in makes sense. And so Devin's talking with Gabby, but there's someone else there too.
Well, he talked with Gabby on their own first, and then he went to talk with Cam and Kyle.
Yes, that Cam was there. That's what it was. And then that's when Josh like crashes the meeting, and I just think it's so funny that they know what Devin's been like that night, but he hasn't been causing like problems. He just has been like very egotistical about day one. And then Josh like interjects into this, and like the whole house immediately was like, "We're not doing this. Like, get out of here."
Well, Josh interrupted because Devin was telling Cam and Kyle about his plans, what he wanted to do, and Josh interrupted saying Devin was trying to turn all his friends against him, which Devin and Kyle are the friends. I think Cam is kind of friendly with Devin just because
she's also Kyle's partner.
She's partners with Kyle. So in what world does Josh think that these two people are Josh's friends?
Josh lives
that
in a
Devin
crazy
is
world.
trying to turn from him. It didn't make any sense.
In Josh's world, everyone other than maybe Devin and Wes are his best friends, and he's top 5 greatest challenger of all time. He just hasn't had the right breaks.
Well, Devin didn't even want to give him the time of day, and he was like, "I'm not dealing with this, just leave." But he wouldn't, and then it came to the point where Fessy came to fetch him.
And then Big
Josh,
T was yelling at him.
And Big T jumped in, begging them not to fight, and Devin was like, "She's right," and then he just ducks out.
Yeah, again, like he knows, like Devin's being a jerk, but he also knows like it's not beneficial for him to get in a fight with Josh because he has all the power right now. He can do whatever he wants. And Nani thinks after that, she thinks that if she goes down, they will put in Anissa or Lolo. I'm not sure exactly where that came from, but that's when Nam and Lolo are out on the like exercise area, and they decide they want to be the house vote.
They tell Casey that.
Yeah, and I was just like, it doesn't work like that. Like you can't just say, "Hey, I want to be the one to go in to get my gold skull so that I can go to the final." Especially this late when there's only a handful of things left.
If you really wanted that, you should have done it a long time ago.
This is when Lolo jumps in with I'm always used to a coach being there to mediate between whatever. And I was like, this whole section and then the earlier one and all that, I just was like, Lolo is a girlfriend without Nam being her boyfriend, and she's acting like he's wrong to her. Like they've had this exclusive like soul connection, and that he's screwed her over somehow. And it's like, it is not that. And she's making it out to be he's this like vindictive guy who's like cheated on her, like, and it's like, man,
it's like a whole thing. And the thing is, before she even says that she needs a mediator or a coach, Nam mentions, he's like, well, maybe we should part ways as a team, which I think
like an adult.
I think is a good idea. And like he's trying to be very calm about it, like, hey, what if we do this? Because obviously we're not working well together. And she goes off on him saying he's disrespectful to her, which when ever. Then she just says she wants someone who accepts her as she is. And I wrote a note. She's asking for a boyfriend.
Yeah, she's asking like they're in a relationship. It goes back to our one of our Patreon exclusive podcasts that Jake talked about this girl that he met, that from day one, before they'd even like talked in real life,
they had not even met.
She was like, "This is exactly what I'm looking for." Bam, bam, bam. And it was like
in a husband or in a partner.
Oh yeah, she was looking to wife up fast.
And you had not even met each other.
No.
Yeah, it's that type of thing. It's like their relationship in her mind is so elevated to the point that everyone's out to get, like, everything he does is wrong. She's all the one that's always like screwed over, and he's never listens, and like it's just like it's not that at all.
Well, finally he just gets tired and leaves, and he just says under his breath, "So stupid," and she's like, "I'm not so stupid," and he's like, "I'm not saying you're stupid. The whole situation is so stupid." And I was like, he's getting really fed up with her. But if you take a look at her wording and what she says to him, what she has said to him since they first started having issues, she throws every ounce of blame on him, and she does not take responsibility for even a little bit of their team's issues.
It's always like, again, I think Allie from Ron Bananas was saying it, like she's like been gaslighting him the whole season. And everything is always his fault. He's the one who never listens. It's just
like, how toxic can you get?
Well, I mean, again, I think that's kind of her reputation at this point. I think if she acted this way with any other guy in the house, I think because Nam's demeanor is so laid back and also
very passive.
Also, again, English as a second language, there's some nuances there he's not picking up on. I think it's more disrespectful than maybe he's even figuring out.
Yeah.
That I think any other guy in the house would have been like, "You're crazy."
I think,
what are you talking about?
I think any other guy in the house would have told her off way before this.
Yeah, it would have been way a bigger issue, except that Nam just happens to be like a stone or ice or
rock.
A rock. And because of that, he's just not going to get in fights about it. And so, I don't know. It's wild. Then we go into deliberation, and an interesting move by Nany was immediately I think Abraham wants to go in there because Nany, I guess, wants to go against her. And Darrell, I guess Corey jumped in to defend Abraham and was like, yeah, she's wanting to put herself out there. I think that's really admirable, whatever. And
little Amber tells the house that she's finally ready to go in, which a couple weeks ago, she and whoever she was partnered, Michi, were like, we don't really want to go in yet. We're just not feeling it. And everybody jumped on them for being like, oh, is that how it works?
Well, Darrell was like, I see exactly what Corey's doing. He doesn't want to be partnered with that girl anymore.
He was like, I don't know what Corey's been feeding this girl.
Yeah. And I think Corey said, I don't want her anymore. Let her go home. Who cares? So then Lolo jumps in and basically starts pleading to go in to the group to get away from Nam. That's her whole speech is, I just got to get away from Nam.
She said she doesn't even care who she goes against. She just tells them that she just is desperate for a new partner. And then she starts crying. And then she's saying, we don't work well as a team. I think if we split up, we'd be much more efficient. And I was like, what you're saying to the house is only jeopardizing you further. You're telling everyone everything they need to hear to not put you in. Why would the house give you new partners if you're not working well together?
Arguably the two strongest athletes in the house just admitted that they can't work well together. And so from a strategic standpoint, everyone's like, well, then, why would we give you a chance to split up?
Even Darrell said, that ain't my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of a wreck at this point, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is this the first time we've ever seen a team, you got one guy over here just you know what, it's just best for us to part ways. And then you got her over here just losing her mind. It's kind of a first for us, right? Corey obviously doesn't want to be partnered with Amber M, but to everyone else, he's like, no, she's real brave and all that. And Lola's like, Nam has treated me so bad that I just got to get away from him.
She's just trashing him in front of him to the whole house.
And the fact that no one jumped in to say you know what, they know Nam's not abusive with her or vindictive.
That's the thing here, right? Is she's putting it out as if he's caused some sort of psychological trauma to her.
Yeah. If anything, it would be the other way around.
Yeah.
She's the one that's always talking about how awful he is and how he doesn't listen and how he's causing her problems, and it's man, this is all in your head. And so the votes go in again, like we said earlier. CT didn't give any sort of explanation, just picked Josh and Nany and just said F you and walked out. And I was like, I like that. That's the way to go.
Beforehand, Josh actually asks the house not to vote. He asked the house not to vote him and Nany in. Which
did he for real?
Yeah.
I didn't write that down. He gets so mad when they don't get voted in at the. It happened.
Well, even if he did, because I don't remember that part, but I do remember him when they had come back from the club and or they come back from the daily. Devin had won, right, and he's trying to figure out a way to stay out of elimination. So he was definitely pre-elimination trying to stay out of it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then elimination comes up, and he's mad he didn't get picked, which is so just.
I know.
Perfect.
It was.
He did it last time.
It was just for a split second after the whole Lolo thing that he was like, you know what? we really don't feel like it's a good time for us to go in. I'm just going to ask that you don't vote us in because Devin was, he threw out Devin. He's like, Devin was going around the house saying that if you don't vote the way that he wants you to, he's going to come after you. So I'm asking that you don't vote us in. It worked for the most part.
Again, when he did this last time, when it was Hall Brawl with Nelson and they didn't pick him, he was like, oh man, I can't believe you didn't pick me. Come on, bro, let me go in. And it's like, I remember when it happened, people like from the show were like, that's such an act. Like he's just putting that on for camera. He didn't want to go in. He was pleading. Like in his mind, this is a complete. Maybe he needs to be teamed up with Lolo because they live in a whole nother world. But in his mind,
can you imagine?
In his mind, he's like, please don't put me in. And then like they don't, and he's like, I can't believe that they didn't put me in. And it's so stupid. Like it makes absolutely no sense. But. The compromised agents are Cory and Brianne. Like literally, I think 12 out of 16 voted for them, and that's when Devin just loses his mind, and he's just talking with Gabby, and then he said he just starts throwing out whatever and to see what sticks, and he's like, let's throw Cam in because if it's a girls' day, screw her, and then she's like, well then it's against Amber M. Like she's gonna come back. Like, then she's just going to be mad at you guys.
And he throws out other names, and she's like, no. And then he goes, what about Anissa? And she's like, maybe.
Yeah, because she's like, she wants to go in, and then he's like, well, what if we did Anissa? And then that changed her mind for, I don't know. I
don't know. It didn't make any sense.
He literally just said he's throwing names to see what stuck. And
but Gabby even said that she thought that Devin was too worried about making big moves and not getting a skull for her, which I think is kind of true.
I 100% think that's his mindset.
He wants to wreak havoc on the house as much as he can just to get everybody in a tizzy. But he also even told CT and Nom that there was no way that he was going to put himself down there in the case that it turned out to be a guy's elimination and he was putting his own gold skull on the line.
I don't blame him at all. Like it's a rookie partner that, again, you don't really know very well. You weren't partnered with the whole season. It's just, you can like Gabby all you want, and she can say, like, oh, I want to go in there. Like, Gabby's not one that I think wanted to do anything physical to begin with. Like, I don't think Hall Brawl is her thing. Like, we'll see going forward. But, yeah, I don't blame at all Devin not wanting to risk. Because, again, if he gets down there, and it's a guy's day, he's Hall Brawl against Cory. And
that's not what you want.
The odds don't favor Devin in that matchup. And so we get to the crater. Did you have something to say?
Well, I was just going to say, like, it turns out, right, like, this is not the elimination you want to make a crazy big move with, right? Because any girl he throws in there was coming back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, which why the Cam thing is very short. Like, I don't think he really would have, after he thought about it, done that, because like Cam, almost no matter what the elimination is going to beat Amber M. Like it would have to be like one of the worst like catastrophic failures, because what Cam's 10-1 or something now. So they get to the crater. It's Hall Brawl. Like you see the plexiglass hallway right there, and
Gabby is shocked.
She's also scared of Hall Brawl.
Yeah.
And so, like, again, she wasn't going in. So, Amber B and Darrell are the vote to go in. And TJ's, like, really playing it up. Like, Gabby, you sure you don't want to go in? And, again, I think she was a little scared of Hall Brawl. Like, imagine losing to Amber M in Hall Brawl. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Bad look.
Yeah.
Bad look.
So that's when Josh starts yelling. He's like, oh, man, we wanted to go in. Let us go. And it's like, man, you're living in a whole nother world. And so it is a women's elimination, which I still don't get exactly why. I'm assuming that means next week's going to be a women's elimination too, to get the final skull.
Idea. And I don't think anybody else really knows either. But once it's announced that it's a women's elimination, Gabby actually gets really upset. She's like, I've made a huge mistake. I do think that Devin was able to persuade her to not go in the case that it was a men's elimination, because there were a handful of guys that really thought it was men's elimination. And so when it was announced, Devin said, you're not allowed to be mad at me. And she said, I am mad at you. And he goes, it was your idea.
Yeah, like I feel like she wanted to put Amber B in because there's this huge drama thing that, again, I think was blown out of proportion. We talked about it last week, but it doesn't make sense. And I think like it's one of those things. Gabby's not quite as bad as like what Josh is acting like, but it's one of those things. It's real easy to get upset about it after you know that you're not going in and you're safe and whatever. Like, I wanted to go in and hall brawl. She admitted she was scared of hall brawl. So it's Operation Hall Brawl, which there's a little bit of a twist to it, and we've seen this type of twist before. The most notable one to me was, it wasn't Hall Brawl, but it was on Rivals 1, where it was like this like a plus sign, or I guess an X of some sort, and
yeah, you had 4 teams. Across.
It was 2 teams.
Really?
It was,
yes, it was because you had 4 people.
Yeah, it was CT and Adam King versus Johnny Bananas and Tyler Duckworth. Which, by the way, that is some big dudes other than Adam King, and there were some big hits in that. And the difference in that one is like you were kind of blind because the dirt walls, so it was a little different, but it still comes into play. We saw it happen in this one too. Like you got to grab one color ball and bring it back, and in that one, people started, I think it was Adam King, grabbed the wrong color ball and brought it back, which set him and CT behind. And that's what happened in this elimination, too, is Little Amber, she runs, she gets her ball, runs it back, and then when she gets to her side, she grabs her own ball, and then right before running in the hallway, realizes what she did, and then just drops it. And then Josh starts freaking out. He's like, you dropped the ball! And it's like, what's the wrong ball?
Yeah,
like,
he turned and he goes, she dropped the ball. She dropped the ball.
It's the wrong one. Like, she brought it further than what it should have been. And so, I mean, Amber B, like... demolished. Yeah, it wasn't even close. They only hit one time in the hallway.
And then, like, as she was going to put in that last ball, Amber, like, little Amber tripped and big Amber just, like, pushed her all the way to the ground, which I thought was really funny.
I mean, Amber B is, like, 6 inches taller than Amber M.
At least.
This was a bad... I mean, not as bad as Josh and Michi, right?
Yeah.
But as far as like
Josh and Michi's elimination, at least was hilarious.
The lack of just competition, like I don't even think Amber B is that great.
No, but
I think little Amber was just giving up from the get-go.
Yeah, like that's what it was. Amber M is just so bad.
She like little Amber talked this big talk about how she's underestimated and she's not a weak player. Like she's been saying it all season, and then she gets a chance to go into elimination and she proves everybody right that she's got to be the weakest person in the house.
Well, I gotta walk back my talk. Because over the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, hey, I'd like to actually see what she's got.
Well, Jake, what has she got?
Nothing.
Her and Michi could be considered one of the worst partnerships of all time in the challenge. As far as like, they had the 2 worst eliminations of the season, for sure.
Like, I would say the 2 worst eliminations I've ever seen.
The Corey and Nelson soccer one is still very far up there to me, but that's just because it's a bad elimination, too. Yeah, it's bad. This was bad. It's not a bad setup. Like I like the ball setup with Thing because ideally that means you're meeting more and there's not rounds. Like it's just who can get it going. But it's just it wasn't good. Amber M is not a good competitor. And like after the episode aired last night, she got on Twitter and she's like, "You're welcome for all the entertainment this season." And I was like, man, I don't know this girl's ever going to get a call back.
Yeah, I don't. But I mean, we've seen Big T get a call back, right? Like, so,
would you rather have Big T back or Amber M back?
Big T.
Big T.
I'd say Big T.
Big T for sure. So now that little Amber's gone, Corey's lost yet another partner, and he is waiting on his 6th partner, which is insane.
Yeah, that's got to be a record of some sort. I mean, I know that they don't change partners a lot on seasons, but that's got to be something crazy. Amber B stays with Darrell. Like, I mean,
why not?
It doesn't make sense to change at this point if you're her. Like, Darrell's gonna show up like when he needs to. He just has kind of been laying low. He's got to get a skull at some point. But we'll see what happens if one partner has a skull and the other doesn't. They've got to like break up these partnerships at some point.
I think there's going to be a purge, and then you're not going to have partners anymore.
Yeah, I think that's going to have to be like, well, if you don't have a thing, you're cut, and then from here on out, it's no partners. Yeah. It's just whoever has skulls.
We saw in the mid-season trailer or whatever that at some point TJ's going to be like, nobody has any skulls anymore.
Oh yeah, that's
think,
right.
I think that's going to be what it is. That there's a purge, and whoever had a skull is who moves on, and then they're going to take the skulls away, and then we're just going to basically be starting over, but only with that limited amount of people.
So Jake, did you watch the trailer for next week's episode?
I did.
Do you think Lolo quits?
That's the thing, because Zach was like, security breach, and I said, we had a security breach a few weeks ago when Millionaire Smashley came back. I said, oh my gosh, what if
they're bringing her back a third time?
What if I said that? I said, what if Lolo just freaks out on Nom one last time and quits, which leaves Nom without a partner, and Corey already doesn't have a partner, so they have to do another security breach and bring somebody back, and they bring back Ashley to be his partner, which I said Ashley and Nom I think would be an incredible partnership. I think she is fun and easygoing. She would be more accommodating to him, and I think she would probably get in fights with other people, but not with him, and I think that they would just do really well together.
Also, if she comes back, I get fantasy points.
So here's the thing.
Yes.
When she went away last time, TJ made a point to say, okay, she's gone for good this time. She can't be coming back.
Do you think they'd bring back like the next female that left by elimination? Because it can't be Peanut Butter or Natalie.
If Nom gets stuck with Amber M because Lolo quits, you know how awful that would be? Like, from arguably the best female athlete in the house, no, not even arguably, like, she just is, like, she's got gold medals in the Olympics, to probably the worst, other than maybe Big T. We don't know that's what happens, but, like, they show Nom and Corey standing up there, and there was nobody really close on either side of them, and it wouldn't surprise me if Lolo quit. Like, we've seen, like, she's kind of unstable, and, like, thinks that Nom is this vindictive partner, and she didn't get her way, she didn't get to go in, and so she may just say, screw it, I'm leaving. If that happens, like, I
think it'd be hilarious if she quits.
I don't. We've
him.
had so many people leave this season. Like,
yeah, but by disqualification. I think if Lolo quits, I think it'll be so funny.
If Lolo quits, that'll be 5 people that have left in non-eliminations. And that sucks.
Yeah.
And
they've all been, other than Leo, it's all been women.
Yeah, Leo went home, Liv DQ, Natalie DQ, Peanut Butter DQ, and then possibility that Lolo loses it and goes home. So, I don't know. I hope for Nom's sake he's not stuck with Amber M. It would be funny if they brought Ashley back a third time. Because at least that gives him a shot. Like, Amber M's not going to do anything. So, it wouldn't surprise me at all if Lolo is upset that her crying and throwing Nom under the bus did not get her in. And she's just like, screw it, you guys aren't going to let me compete, and then leaves.
If she really wanted to go in, what she should have like just acted like, please don't send us in. I don't think I'm ready, and then like they probably would.
Well, she's not
send her
in.
in.
She's not going to play like that. That's not her.
I know that's not how she is, but
strategy.
Crying and saying how bad of a partnership they have and how they can't work well together. I mean, it's only going to hurt them.
So let's get into the superlatives for this episode. Who wants to go first for Smash Some Heads? Jake, you're going first.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Smashing heads. I want to stay away from the obvious.
Okay.
You know what? Fessy's smashing heads for being an introvert.
Okay.
I think he's smashing your head.
I don't think that makes a whole lot of sense, but Hannah?
I put Devin with his homemade Big Brother sucks sign, VIP lounge.
I changed mine.
Okay, we're having a redaction.
You're going to like this one because you're going to like it. It's Nom with the suspenders. He's smashing heads with the suspenders.
You're going to like this one because you're going to like it.
And listening to the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones. And so for me, who smashed some heads, I'm not giving it to Amber B because that was not a good elimination. she already took Devin. I'm still going to give it to Devin because the most entertainment in the episode for sure. And then also, he was the one on the outside of looking in from the Alliance and the dailies and still came back and won the daily.
Yeah.
And they didn't have anybody helping them other than maybe CT, but I don't even remember if CT ever gave them any pieces or not. And so I'll give it to Devin. So who got their head smashed, Jake?
I'm going to go with... It's so easy to go with him every week, but I just want to give it to Josh.
Yeah.
People are telling him to go away.
CT hates, like, I think CT legitimately hates him.
Yeah. It's Josh.
I put Lolo smashing her own head by creating the tension with her and Nom twice and then freaking out and crying to the whole house, which only just solidified her chances of not going into elimination.
Yeah, I'm giving it to Lolo just for the fact that I legitimately think she's going to go home and quit because she didn't get her way and thinks that Nom is an abusive, emotionally manipulative partner.
Non-boyfriend.
Well, I guess if that's the case, I can get ready for all those negative points next week.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me, man. Like, I don't, again, we're spoiler free, so we don't know, but like this whole episode was a disaster for her, and I think you can give it to Josh basically every single week. But it's she definitely shone brightest in the awful Olympics. And I don't mean the Olympics as a whole. I mean, if there were an awful Olympics as one
an Olympics
thing,
of being awful.
Yeah, it would be Josh and Lolo. As the
And you
front
think she'd
runners.
win?
I don't know. I think Josh would probably win that.
Hi, Razor.
So let's
Hey, buddy.
let's take a quick break, and then we'll be back with all the fantasy stuff. All right, we are back, and let's get into fantasy.
Wait, we didn't do Song of the Week.
Oh, I did forget that this time because he picked up his dog, and it just threw me.
I did.
You did that 2 weeks ago too.
My dog made an appearance. Sorry, guys.
He picked up his dog, and I was like, I gotta
put his dog in his lap.
I was like, I gotta go to commercial before we get into fantasy stuff. So yeah, let's. Well, this is after commercial, but who cares? Jake, what's your song of the week?
Hey, me and you used to really rock with Thrice, right? And what was that 4-part album thing they put out?
The Alchemy Index.
Yeah, so I really liked the Water album. This song sounds like it could come off of that album. It's by
So
Heartwave.
you're not recommending Thrice. You just
No, maybe
Okay.
next week. Maybe next week. Going Heartwave. Song is called New Year's Eve.
It's not New Year's Eve. It's February.
Right. But Heartwave, New Year's Eve.
Okay. Yeah, that Thrice, they did a double out, like they released Fire and Water together, and Fire was very heavy. It was really good, and then Water was more like chill, like vibey type stuff, and then they did Earth and Air was more like ethereal, like whispery sound, like I don't know, and then Earth was like stripped down, acoustic, kind of dirty sounding.
That's really cool.
And it was awesome. It gets a really good 4-part thing, and but Jake's not recommending that, so don't listen to it.
Maybe next week.
Yeah.
Maybe next week.
My song of the week is Franklin by Paramore. That entire
I thought her song was going to be Franklin, the theme song to Franklin.
Yes. Stupid turtle.
You do not get to say bad things about Franklin. That was my favorite show growing up. It was so chill. No, my song is Franklin.
Iconic.
Okay.
Yeah, iconic. Okay. By Paramore. It's off their debut album, which is just incredible, top notch from top to bottom. I've just been really pulling it out. It just doesn't get old.
You got any more to say about Franklin?
No, I was just gonna that intro, the song. They kick it off with, "Hey, it's Franklin. Come on now and play again."
Yeah. Wasn't his friend just called Bear or Little Bear? Or
that's a different show. There's a show Little Bear.
There was a bear on the show. I think it was Little Bear a spinoff of Franklin. Anyway, that has nothing to do with mine. I've decided that at least for the next month, I'm just gonna do Japanese bands. and because I've been listening to a lot of Japanese music, and so I'm probably going to pronounce a lot of this wrong, and also the name of this song was only in Japanese on Spotify and YouTube and stuff, and so I had to get on their Wikipedia to find the English version of it, like the name of it. So I'm probably going to pronounce it wrong, but the band is Kanabun, Kana-boon, and then the song is Nandemani Dari, I think is what Nandemani Dari. Again, I don't speak Japanese, so this is an English translation of what the song was. But it's really good. If you get on Spotify, it's like their number 5 song on the thing, and it's like on the number 1 song on their best of album or whatever. But yeah, I'm just going to be doing a lot of Japanese bands, and so I'm probably going to be pronouncing a lot of stuff very wrong.
Very wrong. Little Bear was its own TV show. It was a Canadian educational television show that ran from November 6th, 1995 to November 7th, 2003. But not affiliated with Franklin.
But there was a bear in Franklin, though, right?
There were a lot of animals in Franklin.
That was the thing, right? He had a name.
And then everyone else was just the animal they were.
Eagle. Cornhusker.
6-year-old Franklin the turtle, his best
Weasel.
friend Bear.
Yeah, his best friend was Bear.
And their pals face challenges together in this animated series.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
First episode date, November 3rd, 1997. So Franklin came after Little Bear.
Yeah, but their animation.
I don't think there's any correlation though.
Their animation style
so
is very similar.
It is similar, but I think it's just a sign of the times, as Harry Styles would say.
Yeah, only him. So Jake, let's get into the fantasy stuff. But let me do a quick recap because Hannah wasn't here last week. Last week's scoring was Hannah got 180.
That's it.
That's it. That's the highest score of the season. That's as much as Jake has for the whole year.
Wait a second. I thought I had the big week last week, and y'all both got negatives.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I didn't put week 9 in there. That show I was looking at week 8. So yeah, you are right. I don't have that pulled in there. I didn't do the math yet on that. So because I have a running total. Jake did actually end up with the better week. Let me pull it.
That's right. The best week
that you've had.
That I've had.
Not the best week overall.
Well, and the best week of the three of us last week.
Yeah, so I found it's right here. So Hannah ended up with -5, which she was mad about 100.
That's it?
She was mad about 180. She had -5. I ended up with -5, and then Jake ended up with 100. And so that puts Hannah at 585 for the season. That puts me at 445 for the season, and it puts Jake at 280. He's still a while away. But it's, maybe you'll have some other weeks like that. But with Lolo possibly going home, and then I don't know who Amber M is on. Whose team is she on right now? I'm typing in our stuff, so we got it taken care of. All right, let's get down to it. This is gonna be big. This is gonna be big this week. This is gonna be big. All right, so Jake,
Why?
let's get into it. I'll tell you in a minute.
I'm losing my first.
She's gonna lose her first player.
I'm losing my first player.
10 weeks into the season.
All right, so here we go. From the top, Big Brother Gold Skulls ×3. 5 points to Fessy, Josh, and Casey.
Okay, hold on. Fessy, Josh, and then Casey. All right.
Casey made the statement that Amber B is ready to get her gold skull, to which I commented, no, she isn't, because she was just there. So -5 to Casey and -5 to Amber B.
But she did, though.
Right, but this is pre all of that.
Yes.
Right? 5 points to Amber and Corey for being the cursed crew.
Okay.
Kyle is convinced that TJ wants them to suffer. -5 to Kyle, because that can't be a good feeling.
It's true.
5 points to CT for just flat out saying Josh is a non-threat. -5 to Josh for being a non-threat.
I think you can give him that every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Fessy wants to mix business with pleasure. I don't know when that's ever worked for anyone.
Yeah, that's
-5 to Fessy.
That's literally the one thing that is like a
Everybody
known
says
saying.
not to
Don't
do
mix
that.
business. Yeah. All right.
Fessy is an introvert. You know what? We'll give him 5 points for transparency.
Okay.
Gabby doesn't feel like Fessy is egotistical anymore. 5 points to Fessy because it worked. 10 points to Fessy and Gabby for the makeout session.
Yeah, it's the first one we've gotten, right?
I don't remember.
Maybe.
This has been a no hookup season so far.
Gabby has soft lips. 5 points to Gabby. Nam doesn't want to waste his time. Who does? 5 points to Nam. Lolo and Nam aren't on the same page. -5 to Lolo and Nam. But 5 points to Nam for the suspenders.
Okay. Hold on. You're throwing a lot of numbers at me.
-5 to Lolo.
I got it. I just had to get up there. All right. We're good.
Nam is ice. Lolo is fire. 5 points to each. But Lolo is just being honest. 5 points to Lolo.
But she's not, though, at all. I don't
Well,
think
in
you
her-
can give her points for that.
There's a difference in not being honest and being delusional.
She's delusional. She should lose points.
All right. Well, to her, that's objective. She made the statement that she's just being honest.
Okay.
5 points.
All right.
Amber B is regretting her decision. Duh. -5. Let's see. Nam says we're going to lose. -5 to Nam. But you know what? 5 points back because he was just kidding.
He's just canceling out.
Lolo outruns everybody. Fastest person on the field, 5 points. Leroy is friendly to Josh. 5 points. No one's friendly to Josh. So I'm going to give Leroy 5 points for being friendly and letting him know he had found a puzzle piece.
Okay.
Let's see. Everybody's burying Devin's pieces. That's a -5 there.
But
Literally.
But to Gabby, too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. First to all 10 pieces, Josh and Nani. Going to give them 5 points each. Nani has good eyes, 5 points. But they actually weren't so good, so -5.
Yeah, I was like, they weren't.
CT is impressed with Big T. 5 points to Big T. You and I have dealt with lower back issues. -5 to Nam for his lower back problems because we understand and can relate, and it's not a good feeling.
No.
25 points to Devin and Gabby. They win. 5 points to them as well for being the smartest team in the world, as Devin had coined it. And also, Kyle loves the challenge. 5 points to Kyle.
By the way, early trends is Hannah is going to have, even with Amber M going home, she's going to have a huge week.
Of course she is.
Yeah.
I got so many people on my team.
That's the thing. She just has so many more players.
And nobody going home.
Let's see. Josh at one point came in talking to Fessy about like strategy of how to stay out of elimination, and Fessy just gave him the squinty-eyed look. -5 to Josh because even his own buddy thinks he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Gabby wants to help our family. 5 points. Before they head off to the bubble club, Corey blows a kiss to the camera. 5 points for Corey. 10 points to Devin for creating the Big Brother Sucks VIP lounge. Let's see. Devin's intuition is ridiculous. 5 points to Devin.
Okay.
Josh isn't allowed to talk to Devin. -5 to Josh. But you know what? He said, bro, I'm sober. So 5 points to Josh because we encourage sober living.
Yes.
So Big T wants no more fighting. I want to give her -5 because fights are fun.
It's crazy that all three of our last picks are still here. Josh, Big T, and Anissa.
Yeah. Let's see. Nani doesn't trust anybody. What's new? -5. Also, I'm going to leave this up to you, Zach. I was going to also give her -5 because she called it the Igloo and not the Bubble Club.
Yeah, she should know better, even though this was filmed months
That's
ago.
so stupid.
I
should not lose points for that.
Let's see. Lolo wants to just be accepted for who she is. 5 points. 5 points to Nam and Lolo for the little spat, but -5 to Nam and Lolo for having a bad marriage.
I mean, I think you can just give that to Lolo because that's what she's treating it as, and he's not.
Let's see. Lolo doesn't care who she goes against. 5 points, but she's also out of gas. -5.
Her and Nam just keep like erasing
Back and
everything.
forth.
Hey, but you know what? It ain't Darrell's problem. 5 points to Darrell. Josh will not let Devin turn his friends against him. 5 points for being an Avenger or something. I don't know.
Okay.
Lolo hates her team. -5. Devin is shooting 0%. -5. Let's see. Nani made the statement that she is probably the weirdest individual in this game. 5 points for awareness.
I don't think she's the weirdest. I think she's the most paranoid.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
You
weird.
can chalk that up to being weird, though. TJ loves Amber M's mindset. 5 points to Amber M.
By the way, real quick, the thing with Nani, like when she says like, "Oh, I'm the weirdest person," it's the same thing. It's like when girls on like Twitter or whatever, like, "Oh my god, I'm so weird. I like true crime stuff." And it's like, yeah, that's one of the biggest genres of thing going on. Like, oh, can you believe I play a video game? And it's like, you're not weird.
Yeah.
TJ said that Amber M and Gabby are on the same level of gnarly. 5 points to Amber M and Gabby.
That is not a compliment to either one of them.
Amber B is blindsided by the vote. -5. Josh was offended, but also was not trying to go in earlier. -10 points. -10 points to Gabby for not going in at this point. We just gotta.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's got to be a thing. Let's see. Nam with the cute, witty little joke. He said, "I'm rooting for Amber." 10 points.
That
to
was
Nam.
funny.
You said 10?
10 points.
It was a good joke, Zach.
It's a good joke.
One for each Amber.
Yeah.
10 points to Amber B for absolutely trucking Amber M. And -10 to Amber M for getting so trucked that she couldn't even stand back up.
Yeah, she got so trucked. By the way, Amber B went like wrist first into her helmet, and I was like, that is very dangerous.
Very dangerous, very dangerous. Gabby realizes she made the worst decision, -5. Darrell coaching us up. You got to lower the shoulder. 5 points to Darrell. Amber M worse than Josh? -5 points.
Just in general, or like just in the elimination?
Both.
In general.
Okay.
Amber B wins. It's 50 points. Amber M loses, -25. Corey loses another teammate. That's -10. So
That is a lot for him.
but is it such a bad thing? Add 5 points back to him.
Okay.
He wanted a new partner.
Yeah, he didn't want her.
TJ has now coined her as Amber Beast. 5 points to Amber B. To which Darrell wasn't impressed. Hit us with the wah. 5 points to Darrell. Gabby says, "I'm a fool." -5 points. Let's see. Corey rejected by Amber B. -5.
Yeah, wasn't he? Like, didn't even like to his face is like never going to be with you. Sticking with Darrell.
And lastly, 5 points to Darrell and Amber B because they are fighting for their families.
Yeah, everyone is. It's not like this is a group of like orphans who never knew their parents. Like it's like I got no family. I'm just here to have fun, guys. Every single person on this show has family back home.
Do it for my family.
Yeah. So, man, it's going to take me a while to edit all this up because there's a lot of scoring. And, Jake, please do not immediately come back from – wasn't that last week?
I did do that last week.
So, last week he's like he wanted to do the ad break, and he's like, all right, we'll be right back. And then waited. And then immediately he's like, all right, we're back. Here's the scores. And I was like, I haven't had any time to add anything yet. So, let's throw it to break. You can do that.
Let's throw it to break. Keep it safe, and we'll be right back. And we're back. That break brought to you, as always, by Chick-fil-A Eat Fresh.
Yeah. So, thank you for all the mini weeks of sponsoring all of these fantasy segments. And so Hannah had a lot of scoring. Two of her players ended up at 0. Jeyyy ended up with a player at 0. I ended up with a player at 0, so they didn't end up counting. I missed one. I'm 5 off on mine. I missed CT, got 5 points.
No.
It's fine. I'll just add it to here. So after this week, Hannah ended up with 80 for the week.
Okay.
She's going to be very mad about that because 180 wasn't enough. I got 65, and then Jeyyy ended up with 30.
Yeah.
Basically, Darrell got you 20, and then Lolo ended up with a positive 10 somehow.
I can't believe that.
Lolo had
I can't believe that.
Lolo had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different things of 5 points, and she ended up with just 10 overall. And then Casey ended up 0. For me, Big T ended up at 0. Amber was the one that got me the most points. She ended up with 55 for the week. And then Hannah had 25 from Fessy. Kyle ended up at a 0. Corey was at 20. Nam was at 35. Devin was at... Oh, wait, no, Nam may have been at 0, and then Devin was at... Yeah, that's what it was. Devin's at 35. Nani was negative 10. Gabby was a 30. Amber M was a negative 25, and then Josh was a negative 5. And so, for the entirety of this season... Hannah is now at 665. I am at 510. And then, Jake, you're bringing up the rear at 310.
Yeah.
Hey, will you go back to mine? My team?
Why?
No, like the points for this week. How did I get 10 from Corey?
I said that wasn't Corey. It was Corey. Yeah, Corey ended up with
That should be Corey. Should be a 0.
Yeah, that's
for
what
me.
I'm saying. I said it wrong. If that's what I said, I didn't write the zeros down.
Oh,
because
okay.
it doesn't make sense for me to. And so I was just trying to figure out who was.
I thought
where.
you said he got me 10 points, and I was like,
no,
you
had
right.
you had a handful of players that ended up at a 0. It probably was. Nam ended up. Yeah. No, I don't have anyone on your team got you a 10. I got someone got you a negative 10.
Oh, I don't know.
But I think that was Nani. So anyway, that's where we're at for the end of this week. It's not looking really good at all for Jake. It's looking a little better for me, but still Hannah has the commanding lead. It's not even close at this point. Just again, sheer fact of the amount of people that she has left on her team. Like the thing is, it's a little bit of a flawed system because you're giving points to anyone who's getting camera time, and now she just has the most people, so she's just going to continually get the most points. But we got to figure out what that means going forward with if there's any sort of purges or if there's any sort of. We got to figure out what the system's going to be with scoring in the final and all that, because that's really got to be able to swing things in one way or the other.
Well, here's hoping, right?
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, Jake, you got to even if you doubled your points, you still wouldn't be where she's at.
Yeah.
So good luck with that.
I appreciate
again, as always, thank you, Chick-fil-A, Eat Fresh. And like I said at the top of the show, patreon.com/MashNetsPodcast. We are again, hoping to get some more exclusive things up very soon. We're planning on recording on Sunday for that, and those usually go up either Sunday night or Monday. And you got something? I
haven't been thanking Chick-fil-A for their sponsorship at all so far, and I just feel like I really need to. Also, for our listeners that made it this far, if you go to Chick-fil-A or order from the mobile app, use our code SHP20 for 20% off of your next meal from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly. And you got something?
I was just going to...
He pointed up in the air like you had something you wanted to jump in with. So anyway, patreon.com/SmashingHeads podcast. It directly supports the show. We appreciate it. You get them ad-free, all that type of stuff. So check that out. Follow us on Twitter at SmashingHeads and at SmashingHeads podcast on Facebook and Instagram. And again, from there, 5-star reviews on iTunes, please. They do help. And other than that, we'll be back with you next week. Hopefully we'll have some interviews at some point. But again, this season's been... not the easiest to work with. So, other than that, we'll see you guys next week.
Have a good night, everyone. I'm loving it.